Hey.
Boss. Boss. Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big shit. Big shit, big shit. It's a unique hustle, nigga, big shit. Big shit, big shit, big shit. Name another podcast like this. Who gon' bring it to the table? Boss Talk. Who your girlfriend favorite? Boss Talk. We gon' do it how you want it. Boss Talk. Yeah, everybody on it. Boss Talk. It's a unique hustle.
Check it. It's a unique hustle. It's your boy ECO.
And I'm Money Moses by the way, and we create content every damn day.
Hey, man, it's going down, man. We over here at Boss Talk 101 once again, man. And guess what, man? We got some special guests in here today, man. They really don't need no introduction, man. Man, I've been trying to get both of these guys on the same panel, man. It's going down, man. I finally was able to make it happen, man. We got my boy MELVIN Farmer, and we got my boy OG Percy in the building. Shout out to Supreme and Mayhem and all the people that's are sitting around this august panel. You know, what's going on, Melvin?
Oh, nothing, man. Just out here hitting and being the corners out here all week. Been having a wonderful time. Texas been showing me a lot of love, and we're going to top it off tonight, man, and put this shit on fire tonight.
Hey, man. So, hey, man, what I wanted to do, man, just have some questions, you know, being that you out of the California area. OG Percy is in here, man.
Okay.
Hey, man. Man, this man out of the Fort Worth area. Yeah. Texas, that is, the great state of Texas. Cali coming in the building. So, and I just wanted to try to, just have a discussion, man. I always wanted to know how those worlds, pretty much. I know Percy. Percy is known, man, on that internet, and Melvin, you known on that internet. And have you guys ever met?
No, sir.
Never met before?
No, sir.
First time. Man, you know what? So
good feeling.
I know y'all heard each other.
Yeah,
yes,
we
sir.
conversated over the phone prior to when Charleston was in California back in the day. Jody and all them. I had sent Babalu down here when he had first came back. So I think we had chatted before, but I know I've always heard his name.
His name, yeah.
It's always brought up.
Dope, man. So, because like I say, and I asked this question with a different group of people, but California, I had California, Texas in here. And I always be thinking in my mind, like, to be, and Melvin, from long time ago, with being the Crip, from being in California, and then someone being affiliated with Crip in Texas, does that merit the respect, or do they because my cousins from LA, and when they would come down, it wasn't really a thing to where they was like, they come down, I take them to Shreveport, they act like, hey man, they solidified and what we doing wasn't or whatever. So how do you look at that?
Well, before we had expanded, when it was just East Side and West Side Compton, before they had even left, let alone the city from the zip codes, it went through expansion, particularly when the drug game came out about 77, and they started floating. But I've always looked at it like this, we don't die, we multiply.
Wow. So
when we started, that's when that saying started, and as you see today, the guys from my area, the original one, our attitude where it's you sign up for this, it wasn't a lot of ways you can get into it now. So I've always respected Crips or Bloods or somebody that's from this culture, and a lot of guys will tell you when they ask me something, I say let them pick their bones. And so it's all a level playing field for me. I don't look at it as one's a leader or nothing. When I come, I check in with these men, just as you would a home. When you have a right to expectation, you don't come and knock at somebody's house unexpectedly. So as far as me personally, I give everybody the same respect because I'm a seed. They are the roots of it. And so I look at them all as one big total family. You got to remember, I came in when we were united. Most of them come in where they come in divided, Crip on Crip, blood on blood. That's a different language to me.
Okay, and OG Percy, being when you see somebody that from the California area, how do you look at them as far as the representation of what you guys represent in Texas?
Let me see. They all right with me. I'm saying that to say I've never looked at a Crip from California.
Okay.
Yeah, that part.
So you never met?
Nah, never
Really?
met, never seen one, never shook hands. But today,
You got to shake
Yeah.
hands. That's what
With a
it's all
real one.
about. The
With a
unity.
real one.
Yeah,
With a
yeah.
real
Lightly,
one.
man,
On top of
lightly,
that.
man.
Huh?
Lightly, baby.
Okay.
So tell me, like I remember I had asked you on the show before, like how did you ending up dealing with just the Crip side, and you said it was because everybody around you was Bloods,
The
and
other
you
side,
just
yes.
you didn't want to deal.
Yeah.
You wanted to be different.
Yeah, always.
What made that stick out in you to be different in a time where everybody else would have pretty much folded and
Because of the guys, you grow up with these cats. And
Okay.
then all of a sudden you see him with a blue rag on him. Well, you already know he ain't built like that. 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 They ain't built like that. I don't want to be them.
and that's how you did.
I feel like I was tougher than them anyway. And I feel like if you gonna gangbang, it ain't no fun to be in the hood with the same gang.
so
I want to live dangerous. I was on it for real.
you want to become the opponent.
Yes, sir.
So that's a difference in the way like you guys started. When you guys started, there was a different time, a different era. You talking the 70s?
No. Look how he came in.
Okay.
Same way I came in. We come to you. It's a challenge. So it wasn't no easy road. I promise you, every opponent back then were worthy opponents that you can speak about. We talking about Raymond Washington, Tookie, Lil James Compton, Barefoot, Pookie, Michael Conception. I can name them all day long, just all day for the 50 years that I've been around. But like I say at the beginning, when we came in, it was nothing but your face was your ID and your pistol was your passport. So that's how everything was to encounter. Because at that time, in our days, you couldn't tell this before colors. You couldn't tell Crip from Blood because that wasn't even thought about. In fact, it wasn't even those sets, 8-trade, 60s, just when it was West Side and East Side Compton. So it wasn't just like we were dominant. No, that wasn't the case. Everybody from the early 70s were very real respected and about that business.
Yeah, and so when you think about those times versus today's time and how it's expanded, is it something that you would have thought would have happened? Like the way that it spread it?
No.
Because it spread across the world. It didn't just spread from state to state.
Well, as far as me and others, we never thought about it expanding or going into what it is now. We were just young kids. We didn't know where we was lost, not misguided, because wasn't nobody telling us what to do. See, we didn't have, contrary to what people think, Raymond and them, they had an army and this and that. No, they were the faces of the Crips, but they were 18. We 14, 15-year-old juveniles before they even had this type of situation where we was getting 2 or 3 years for homicide. Carjacking was called GTA, get caught with a gun, they give it back. So a lot of the things, most of the guys from my era, from 71 to 75, from 14 to 18, we either got 25 or better arrests in a 4-year period, or either they got a murder conviction, or either if they still alive today, they have over 25, 30 years in prison. 2 of those 3 they usually have before they was 18. So we had a free wing. It was the Wild Wild West, and but it was honorable. Wasn't people getting involved that wasn't involved and signed up for it. So a lot of innocent people wasn't getting hurt as it is now, where anybody, because of the area you stay in, it could be detrimental. So
Wow.
I understand it.
And you mentioned prison along the way. I know that in when you're incarcerated, that becomes a deal as well, where there's members of Crips, Blood, different Muslimic faith, all these different sectional groups, and it's like a different structure when you inside of the walls than it is when you outside. Actually, it would almost seem as if it's more like it's more togetherness when you're inside. What do you think about that?
You had no choice but to be together when you're inside. You understand me? A lot of shout out to Melvin, man. I'm gonna get this. I gotta get the star stutter out of my head.
Oh no, it's all good, man.
Get to meet him, man.
OG is here.
Yeah,
real talk.
Man.
That's
good
Cali,
karma,
man.
That's
Real
how
talk.
we doing it.
Good spirits can feel
Hey,
good spirits.
man.
But anyway, man, it's a difference. When you outside in that world, you can run from hood to hood. See, that's what them youngsters know when they get on this game. See, I don't gang bang. I don't gang claim, and I don't got nothing to do with the game. I got one game. I'm in God's game now. That's my game. That's my only game. One on one.
And we know that now, but back.
But I'm gonna stick to the topic. Watch this. But back then, you know, they get in these games, and it's time to go to reap the benefits of what the game has for you, which is the penitentiary or the grave. When it's time to reap, one thing when you in the streets, I can hit you and run over and hide in his hood. Hit him, run over and hide in his hood. Hit him, go hide in her hood. But when you go to the penitentiary, ain't no hiding. Ain't no hiding place. You run into them all now. It's time to reap the benefits. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no togetherness. You go in the penitentiary and find out them niggas in there just as ruthless as the ones in the streets. But ain't no out of it. Ain't no walking away. Ain't no. No, you can get jumped out. Nigga mash you out. Nigga, some of them Crips in there when they go in there. I'm gonna tell you some real. You know how I get in. Them niggas be hoes. They come in there and they not the niggas they in the streets. They not that Crip in the street when they is behind them bars. You can do a lot. Like I tell you, ain't no pistols in the penitentiary. I got a major announcement to make, but I'll wait to break that later.
Mm-hmm. But now, let me
go ahead.
A little bit about California prison system.
Yeah.
Y'all read my book, The New Slave Ship, A Ship That Does Not Sail, that deal with this new industry called prison. But when we first went to prison, there was no Crips. There were very few because most of us were juveniles at the time in 71, 14, 15, 16, 17. So when we got to the age to where we can be sent to prison, everybody also need to know that California is the only prison state that has no segregation. They segregated. When I was in Georgia prison, I don't have Latino facilities, whites, but California is the only state in the United States that segregate, and this is why. Most people don't know the difference between a street gang and a prison gang. Like you say, you don't go in there with a pistol. We call it you check your guns in at the county.
Okay.
So now you're coming up close. You got to come up close. But what happened when we first started going to prison, here it is, these guys, you got the, right after George Jackson, the Soledad brothers, Fleety Gromgrove, Hugo Pernell, rest in peace, who got killed and slain in Folsom after 50 years in solitary confinement, and to his daughter, Allegra, my own girl. But anyway, so now when we got to prison, now you got the BGF, Black Guerrilla Family. You got the Black Panthers. You got the ABs and Brotherhood. You got the Mexican Mafia. You got the Northern Familia. You got the Muslims. You got the police, and then later on you start breaking it into CCOs, Crips under Constitution, Blue Notes, Tookie and them, Vanguards, Black Coats, UBN that's in New York, Peabody, and all them that started that. So when you're in prison, it's a difference. Believe it or not, in California, it turns into racial. It turns into racial. You got the blacks in one section, Mexicans over here. When they was filming America and Me in Palm Hall, they was giving us 2 packs of cigarettes to sit out when James Somas and them were there. So in California in prisons, they're very violent.
Yeah.
And Texas too, that's why I let it go, because they got the Texas.
Yeah.
You know how the game goes.
Yeah, and we got Supreme here, y'all. Just want to make that announcement.
What's happening?
What's happening, Supreme? So you on this august panel now.
For sure, I'm honored. It's a pleasure.
Okay,
no doubt.
And the thing, I don't want you to hold back on the questions that we have for these brothers, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things. And I got Mayhem. I'm going to be pulling him too. It's just, I think it makes for good conversation. I think it makes for education. And it also shows unification, and at the same time, it shows growth. That, you know, that we would still be here after all these years and still be able to have lived and to talk about it, because a lot of people didn't. So I just like the fact that you brothers came over to spend time and conversate with us and make history.
Yeah, this history right here.
Yeah. I like
sure.
it, man. I got a lot of good guys that's in here today. So I like this one here. But definitely, man, when you look at the Texas prison system, that all of them prison. We incarcerated, we locked up, different rules somewhat, but same situation, right?
He said some of the real. It's only 3 gangs in the penitentiary. 3. Might got a half one in there. He might throw them, but it's white, black, and brown.
That's it.
It's only 3 gangs in the penitentiary.
That's real.
3. I tell people when I got in the penitentiary, I was a black man before I was a Crip. I run that back to
we
you.
need to get back to
I was a
on
black
this
man
thing.
before I was a Crip. I done went to the penitentiary now. I done went to jail system. Matter of fact, I did time right here in this city, Dawson. Charleston boys on Dawson. It's shut down now. I did time on Dawson unit down and Hutchinson down here. They don't respect the game no more. The game didn't change. You know, they protect them now. They got a thing on the wall with a rat with a sack in his hand, and on the top of that sack it says extortion. You know, you will be handled. You know, they babysit them now. They put that titty in their mouth when they cry. They lock everybody up if he say he hit me. Everybody going to jail. Everybody going to lock up today. Texas prison is black, white, and brown. I was in the penitentiary down here in Dawson one time. I went to visitation and I came back. Tales from a Crip. And I came back. I came back from visitation. My cellie was sitting on the bunk and he was beat up. And I was looking at him like, God damn, what happened to him? I said, no, he a blood. He was told down, but he was my cellie. I like, what happened to my cellie? Maybe like, you know, the Mexicans over there jumped on him. I looked around. See, I knew how to separate a black man from a Crip. He was a blood, but he was beat up, and I asked him what happened. He said 3 Mexicans jumped on him over. They jumped on him. I threw Crip out the window at that time. That's a black man. So what everybody do while they was jumping? Well, you know, that's the blood, you know, that's dog business, that's such. So they forgot that they was black before they was anything. You dig what I'm saying? So y'all sit there and let 3 Mexicans jump on a nigga. That what y'all telling me. Well, that night, this goes down in Dawson, downtown Dallas history. That night, when I seen my little partner beat up, he was a blood, I told all the Mexicans, y'all 3 the one that jumped on him, we going out to wreck tonight, we're gonna show y'all what it feel like to get jumped on. And so the SA said, no, my friend, you don't have nothing to do with that. You had nothing to do with that. We can jump on y'all in here, or we can go to wreck. So everybody decided we're gonna go to wreck and we're gonna run the Mexicans down through there. Well, you know the Mexicans ain't gonna let you jump on their people. However y'all wanna do this. That night, OG Percy was arrested for inciting the biggest riot in downtown Dawson.
Wow. Yeah.
We had like 175. When they walked in there, they were slipping on blood on that gym floor. They were skating on blood. We were mopping them up. They jumped off, and I told the SA, I said, man, we want to look at your partners. And he said, you know we can't do that. You know we can't do that. Well, there ain't nothing else to talk about. If we can't get them one-on-one, well, I guess when I looked in the gym, the sad thing about, you know, like you were saying, something that you mentioned, when you on call, you on call. See, a lot of these youngsters, they get in them gangs, come to the penitentiary, want to be a gang member, then when they get gangster, and them knives come out, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to play no more. Yeah, and they got to use their hands, they don't want to play no more. When they can't hit you a mile away, they don't want to play no more. You dig what I'm saying? And that's how they go. But
I get it.
When they can't hit you a mile away, they don't want to play. They don't want to hit you straight up. Now they want, like he said, won't get in arm's reach. But to make a long story short, that night on Dawson, we set off a big ride down there, and it ended up being Crips. They labeled it Crips on Thongo Blast, you know, on the essays. But it wasn't about that. It was just black on brown. Wow. That was about.
Let me ask you something, Melvin. Were you ever locked up with Tookie? Did y'all ever do time together?
Mm-hmm. Right before Tookie now I'm old enough to go to jail with him.
Yeah,
When I met
yeah.
him, he was an adult already.
That's right.
18.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to prison. But when he got arrested in '79, February, I was getting out of halfway house from doing 2 years for a jewelry store robbery. So I'm going over there to holler at him. In fact, I got a picture. He was really on the porch. I just didn't take no picture. So I tell Tookie, man, this house you staying at, they got something going on where they say they telling.
Wow.
I say, I don't, because they wanted me to jump the fence. He back there in the back lifting weights, had on some overalls, curling him and my other homie at that time, Blackie, Alfred Cowan, which ended up being his co-defendant, and my other boy, Bam. And I told Took, man, I'm not jumping that gate, man. I think this dude telling, because in our era, we ain't know nothing about no snitch. And so then later on, Took went to jail in February, and I was with Raymond Washington a day or two before he got slain. So '79 was a pivotal year. Tookie went to jail, Raymond Washington got killed. And then I went to for a jewelry store robbery, February, where they arrested me. That's when we were in jail. So we going to the same court out in Palos Verdes, because you'll get busted in the city, but you end up going damn near to Beverly Hills. Might as well call it Gilligan Island. Ain't no blacks down there. So we was going to court. He'd be in the cage, and back then, Tookie was so big he couldn't put handcuffs on his back, so they had a chain that they wrapped like a slave chain.
I seen that.
No, I used to witness this when we were wearing shirts, blue shirts, and they give you Levi's before they started turning into jumpsuits and stuff. So yeah, I was in jail, and we used to pass notes, or I might be going to jail in Santa Monica, and I was going to court with the Mendez brother, that's Kyle and Lyle Menendez. They on death row for killing their family over financial gains.
Right.
And it's amazing. No, they didn't even get the death penalty. They got an LWOP, life without. Right. And this is for those death penalty proponents. Kyle and Lyle Menendez killed their family for financial gain, and that puts them in the category to get the death penalty, but they didn't. Tookie did the same crime where they both could have got the same time, but one got life, the white guy, and Tookie got executed. So let's remember that when we go to Voice and talk about the death penalty. But back to the thing, yeah, we would send, he stayed in high power at that time about 4 years. So I was in there with him. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I always thought about that. What you got for us today, Supreme?
So it's been just a slight little rift between Texas and Cali when it comes to cats like yourself. So to have y'all here is very important for both coasts. And I want to ask y'all, what do y'all feel like we could do, having you two guys out here healthy, you know what I'm saying, and willing to speak and help? What do y'all feel like some things we can start to make this unification a glorification?
Well, as for me, I feel anything that you're trying to do, it's got to be solution based, but also the first part in coming to any type of thing, situation, is to create dialogue, and that's what's going on now here. But also, more importantly, with this age of social media and so many ways to come out to get information out, audio, video, or print, it's good that we have a platform such as Boss Talk and these other ones when they're giving out positive information as opposed to other type of information that adversely affect our community. As far as myself, I don't look at it. I'm past the stages of gang banging and paving the streets. My mission is bigger than being an internet troll. I want to give back to the community. Gotcha. He paid his dues. A lot of us, we know what we did to hurt the community. We know what we've done to help the community, but so many times people that had their boots to the ground when the camera's not around, their voices aren't heard. So now, this been my boy. I got love for him. We tied at the hip just like you, and we just trying to show people it's another way of life, and that God has a plan for all of us. See, I don't look to man no more, because man will take your life. but God can give you a new life.
Man.
So that's how I get down on that. But more importantly, it ain't just about me. When I come here as a credible messenger, a representative of my community, where I deal with restorative justice, and as well as redefining the community. So as me as being a messenger, it's my job to just try to match up to where a lot of times when you're in the frame, you really don't see the picture.
That's right.
So I see the picture because I'm not in that frame, but I've lived that life. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here, and I don't look up. You know, I don't like to be called OG, big homie, because it's always a we. It ain't about that. It's always been about a me, a we, where I try to stay honest and stay fair and just stay true to the game, man, but also stay in my lane.
Man, that's
So,
hey,
what you got, Percy?
To answer that question, man, I feel like it's a must-see.
Yeah.
A must-see. For 2022, it's a must-see. And I'm like him, I'm going to keep banging on that TV, banging on the TV, and banging on the TV until they get the picture.
Look, I got something else for y'all too, man. You know what I'm saying? What you I'm going to go there, E, real
Boss
quick.
Talk 101 is the platform where it goes down, where we ask the questions that can change lives and make a difference.
So
Let's let him know right quick.
both of you brothers, man, are well familiar with Brother Charleston, and y'all had you know, there's no beefs or nothing, but y'all had y'all quarrels on the internet with Brother Charleston, and this is not a bashing statement, because I love Charleston. You know what I'm saying? We used to talk frequently, and I saw Percy do a live recently where he was, you know what I'm saying, letting people know. Well, first I saw Charleston say there's no problem with OG Percy. Then I see Percy have a captivating live last night, and you know what I'm saying, put things in perspective. And I spoke with you, Brother Melvin, and I know that deep down there ain't no issue. You know what I'm saying? So would y'all want to speak on anything with that, as far as
Yeah. To answer your question exactly, like you said, this is a must-see. This is a must-see. This is a must-see because this right here is unity.
Yeah.
That's right.
Something that was tore apart the last time this gentleman came.
Yeah.
Come on. It's a must-see. As far as people coming back together, it's a must-see that somebody can get along. It's a must-see that Charleston can see that he could become the person that he really is. See, I mess with Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charleston, you know, say if it wasn't no Charleston, wouldn't be no me. If it wasn't no me, wouldn't be no Charleston. We been the hottest thing going back. I'm the only nigga can go blow to blow, toe to toe with him, with this mic. You dig what I'm saying?
Verbal assassins, like Big Melvin say.
But you know, but I just takes my energy goes this way. It don't go that way. You know, he got a role to play. Yesterday I did a live on Charleston. Yes, I did. Shout out to the white boy. I did it on Eyeball. You know, I talked to Eyeball. You know, I don't fuck with Eyeball. You know, you fuck with Eyeball. I don't fuck with Eyeball, but I fuck with Charleston. And if y'all do know, Charleston is Eyeball. That's what I call it. That's y'all catch that in a minute. But as far as Charleston being a person, I can't apologize for nothing. He had to be a own man, stand on his own 2 feet when it come down to Melvin. You know what I'm saying? They got I don't know what, but I know Melvin is. I watched Melvin in that interview. Matter of fact, I turned around and y'all know I don't say nothing to Charleston. But when I seen the interview with Charleston and Melvin and the other guy that was sitting over there, I felt like something had to be said. You know, and I threw a blow, you know, which I was wrong. I shot at him. I swung at Charles, threw a blow at him. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a must-see. People need to see that it shouldn't be no that blog after that blogger, that rapper after that rapper, that nigga after that nigga. Because it's always, people always complaining about, niggas always talking about killing niggas. As soon as a cop kill one, everybody looking crazy. But it's all right for us to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? This is a must-see. I wish Melvin, you know, I'm pretty dude, you know what I'm saying? Because as long as we talking about getting along, I'm going to be here. Anything else, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I get it.
That's my platform. I'm here to build, not destroy.
100.
Yeah, as far as me and Charleston, I don't wish no man no ill will. I understand this entertainment. It's like this with me. You got newspapers where you got certain sections, the sports, you got the crossword, the comics, and everybody don't read the same section.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. That's why I don't look at social media. So at the end of the day, people need to understand. I put Charleston White. I managed Charleston White from the beginning.
Let's go.
When he came to California, I got him on the shows. I got a lot of videos. In fact, I was out here February where we did a special. Then we was going to do another one. I let him host a lot of Elsa Alonso and all that. But at the end of the day, I am who I am, and you're going to put some respect on that. That's period. It ain't nothing personal. It's just business. Now, also, I'm a civil rights activist where I can make shit get national, global when I find a civil rights violation. So I don't do no verbal gymnastics, nor do I do no Adolf Twitler shit on the internet talk. I'm going to come and hurt you. I'm the verbal assassin in this game, but I'm going to hit you where it hurt. See, so with Charleston White I know Charleston White probably better than anybody outside of these brothers. So they look at it, well, he's still around Charleston White and this and that. Let me clarify how this game goes. This man know Charleston White and probably grew up and know his mama, sister, brother, and everybody else. And this go for the nation. Over this time period of this culture over 50 years, because of the segregation recreated by our own and the fratricides, that's the killing of one own brother and sister, or either by friendly fire when you hear about people get killed with a gang members or whoever do it and it was an accident. So at the end of the day, I always say it's easy to kill a stranger. It's very easy to kill a stranger, and that's what happens out these streets. A lot of guys don't know each other. But back to Charleston White, I have concerns with his presence when it comes to being around children. I'm a board member on Youth Mixed Martial Art with Cynthia, Big U's cousins and his other cousins, as well as other champions. But our job is to identify people that could be a threat to children, because the athletes are children 6 to 18. And it's, Charleston White to say, see, I do fact checks on what they say. See, we doing fact checks because a lot of people, he's not a builder. He trying to build himself. So somebody got to step to him. He'll step to him. I could step to him. Like I say, I've been here all week. He can come tomorrow. I got till 7 o'clock sundown tomorrow. And he can step to the mic and let's see, because I heard him say he got characters. That's who he is, the character. I know that's a character. Those are clowns. But then you got characteristics. That's what he say. So now let's look at Charleston White's characteristics. A man that admitted, talk about him or me when we talk about our past, but when he talk about his past, he talk about raping a woman. But y'all accept that. I don't. So I don't talk about it. We're going to be about it. We also know Charleston White was bragging about going to Memphis to a school where he all of a sudden admitted, I ain't going to mention the school. But that didn't get past my ear. I want to know why he didn't, and it's a reason why, because he wouldn't have been allowed there. So I'm putting everybody on notice. If he's around a child where he's anywhere involved, I'm going to hold you responsible if something happened to that child. Now, tomorrow we're going to have a show where Charleston threatened and was restrained from jumping on a 16-year-old. That's coming out tomorrow. And since he liked to tell if we wanted to, that's charges of assault. And I don't think he's ready. But I ain't going to punish him like that. Maybe, maybe not. That's up to them. But at the end of the day, it ain't about Charleston White. It's a moral issue here. He got a man that has been on the internet out his own mouth again, showing his penis. Mama, I want to be a porn star. I show my penis. We got that. He called a child a faggot. You know about it.
Well, when you say I know about it, here's the spiel. I heard what had happened.
Okay,
I wasn't there.
But you know.
I heard about it. But at the end of the day, I wasn't there, so I can't just
let
put
me
my
show you
fingers on.
about
But I gotta say this: when Charleston because it's been kids over here that he had brought over here, as I told you before, and when they got out of juvenile, and these was teenagers. But at any rate, and I wouldn't pick the teenager up because I had went spoke at the juvenile to these kids. So I definitely don't regret doing it. But I can say this. And I will say this: when he talked about raping a white girl, he always clarified the fact that he was a young kid.
But hold on.
I gotta say that. He was a young kid.
Ain't nothing you can say after that. He was a young kid. I wouldn't give a damn if you said you was to hold it, bro. Hold on, bro. Hold your horses.
So if he's young, it don't matter. He's saying they ran a train on the white girls. I've heard him say it.
You know how many people I ever heard said they raped somebody in my goddamn life? And I've been around rapists from the Hillside Strangler to the USC rapist. Nah, motherfucker.
Let me help you out. Go ahead. Let me help you out.
No, that ain't no.
Let me throw him a life rap.
I'm just having the conversation.
Let me throw him a life rap real quick. You good? Watch this. It's in people like our DNA. Institution, prison. When you done been to prison, you don't even have to go to prison to be to be on. I know where he at. You know when he talk like that, you can feel it come out of him. The energy come out of him. In prison, you better not even smell like you didn't rape somebody.
That don't go down.
Mm-hmm. You hear me? You better not shit. Your name better not even come up on it. Your name better not even come up on it. You can't take that back.
Can't take it back, bro.
That's like I heard you fucked a punk. You can't get that back. You did that. Hey, that's something that's gonna stick. But when you say things like that and you play with the children, I got an injury to a child on my record for whooping a 16, for fighting a 16 when I was 17. The 17 was big in him, and I was small as Charleston. You hear me? Yeah, but just because the big man had a black eye and he was 16 and I was 17, I got charged in as an adult. One thing you can't play with is rape. We don't play that.
That's unacceptable, bro.
Particularly, no matter what's
being around children.
Don't do. I see
where you're coming from.
You can't play. You can't play like that.
You can't be around children.
Can't do that, man.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
I fuck with Charleston, but he know. But watch this. I'm gonna tell you something about Charleston. He'll tell you himself. Had I have said something like that, he'd have ran to the moon with it.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that.
Fast.
You don't. That's one thing, mentally that you can't take out of a real one when you say it. So I'm not.
So because he said that he raped,
horrible. That's horrible.
Pretty much everything else is out the door.
Oh, you can't do that.
You can't do that, bro.
That's a lie, E. Saying you actually took something like that from somebody.
You can't brag about it.
Yeah.
You can't do that, bro.
Business.
That's a lie.
And if you do it and be around somebody, because he's not registered, but if you would have been convicted of that, you wouldn't have been allowed. I got a partner doing 100 years right now for not registering for that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, it ain't nothing personal. You cannot, if I work with youth, he would not pass the test to be around youth, just on his words and its mission. So I'm not accusing him nothing. Right. I'm just going by what he say. It ain't about Charleston White. This is just where you look at the issue. A man doing this, a man admit that, would you let him around your child?
Mayhem. I got Mayhem on. I wanna hear from Mayhem now because he's been listening to the conversation and he's real he's a real intelligent brother when it comes down. He actually understands prison talk and
Brother
all that. He did
Mayhem.
17 years in prison.
Where he at?
Right there behind.
Right behind.
So Mayhem, when it come down to these what's the conversation like? What input could you give me?
Oh man, on what topic, man? First of all, shout out to Bev and OG Percy and all that for being here, and like I say, having the desire to like I say, reach and understanding beat everything, and also your legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? Your legacy is solid, man. But you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Charleston White, man. You know what I'm saying? And he is definitely promoting my book. You know what I'm saying? I had a great interview with him. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, one thing that I tell people. One thing about Charleston White that I try to understand people, man. And he's difficult to understand, man, but I do know that he got a true desire to keep young people out of prison. And with that, I salute that brother, and I try to that way, and when he's on that mission, hey man, that's my boy, I got him, you know what I'm saying? But when he's doing what he got to do to get the views, man, I ain't with all that. That's not how I was raised. I was raised by some real Crippin'. I was raised by a Crip environment in Texas from real Crips, and like I say, when I hear people talking about Crippin', you know, man, we got successful Crips in Dallas. You know, people talk about Crips, and I hear about all this, and I hear all these sad stories, and this is, you know, man, get shot, and they was robbing, and they was bad, and it's all bad. You know, nobody talks about the drop tops, and nobody talks about, but we don't need to glorify that. But what I'm saying is, back in my day when I grew up, man, it was dangerous to say you was a Crip.
The Mayhem, let me ask you this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but Charleston spoke on with when he was on with Arturo Marvin and Melvin about the characters of the man and what he, you know, tries to assassinate that character. So I had my discrepancy was with that was, so Melvin escorted Charleston to Nipsey's funeral. You dig what I'm saying? So in that character, you know, you don't get to know Aramis unless you meet Nipsey first, whether it's in person or whether it's, you know what I'm saying, through the internet or through the music. So in order for you to feel like Aramis is a good person, you got to bump into Nipsey first. You dig what I'm saying? And his mama know Aramis, his family. You don't know that to say that this is a, you know, fuck Nipsey, excuse my French, but I'm with Aramis. That's cool, but if Nipsey was out here destroying and hurting, then you are entitled to your opinion. That man was out here building a lot of different kind of ways. You dig what I'm saying? So to try to take that from him just because his name is Nipsey Hussle and he's a Crip and you into it with the gang members, I listened to a lot of people. I watched Percy, I watched Melvin, I watched Charleston. I'm studying all of this. So as a student, I had to call BS on that because that's not proper. You can't say Nipsey fuck the character because he's a Crip. He's a successful Crip, like you was saying, Brother Mayhem. So, you know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to cut you out, but I had to when you spoke, and I had to get that off real quick.
So, what do you feel about that, Mayhem?
First of all, I don't want. See, people are very comfortable using a lot of words, right? And I'm not here to talk about Charleston White or Crips, but remember, my underlying token is I'm not even here to sell these books. You know what I'm saying? I'm a youth mentor, right? And my job is I'm here to really teach young men how to be young men, right? And so when it comes down to it, my overall objective is to teach a young man how to be responsible, and what that means is how to be responsible what he's doing, but also how to maintain his character. Right. So now when I'm saying, and when I say maintain character, we don't need to be making up definitions and just putting this all, you know, and taking the word character out of context. Right. The word character means the way other people perceive you. Right. Character is important because we have to maintain character. That's why I said I grew up around a Crippin' character. Right. And that was dangerous for me. But it also saved me. But it was also somebody that was out there that was available to teach me and give me the game. Except his game was that, you know, that character was that, and that character has character flaws. But it is what it is. But in order for us to correct it, we first must acknowledge that we have these flaws. We cannot fix something that we don't have, right? So when we sit here and we try to play mind games and say Aramis and Nipsey, man, that's the same person. That's the same person. So, and my thing is this. So one of the most important things, I ain't say the most important thing, but one of the most important things that I could teach any man is respect. You know what the most important thing about respect is?
Mm-hmm. Don't disrespect.
Disrespect. The most important thing about respect is disrespect. Why do I say that? As penitentiary, we penitentiary man, right? And so what we learned real quick, it doesn't matter if you respect me or not. You don't got to respect me. You ain't got to acknowledge me at all. Just as long as you just don't disrespect me. That's where a problem comes to lie in it, right? A lot of people are very comfortable disrespecting, saying disrespectful things in this era. In our era, that is deadly. People die behind disrespect. But today, people are comfortable because we come in an age of technology. So I come up from an old school. I came up in the 80s and 90s in Crippin', and it's a totally different. I did 17 calendar years behind living a real life, bro. And what I noticed difference between when I got out of prison to when I went into prison, they got a thing nowadays, and that is called high crime areas. And what that means, you cannot congregate like we used to do back in the neighborhood, back in the day when I was out. When I was 13, 14, we used to go outside and there was 50 to maybe 80 niggas outside, bro. Everybody gang banging. You can't do that no more. You can't even, you get 10 people outside, the police showing up saying you cannot be out here, this is a high crime, they would take you to jail. But back in my days, that's why gang banging was effective. But our gang banging wasn't a bunch of out of control imbeciles. Our gang banging was some very serious, we had championship gang bang people around us. Shout out to my boy Doc and Sky Blue and all the people who raised me. But man, y'all taught us how to not only, it didn't teach us how to just put in work, they taught us about respect people's mothers. Don't talk about somebody's sisters. Maintain, they taught you, boy, you learned what good person was by, you know, it was dangerous to be a Crip. And also playing with the word Crip. I hear people now, yeah, man, boy, say you a Crip and you don't be a Crip back in the day. That was one of the first missions that I had. Back in my day when I was young and got started getting into the gang banging, I was too young. They wouldn't even let me be a Crip. I had to join a little gang up underneath some Crips called BGP. Baby Gangster Posse. And after a couple of years, maybe we can graduate into a Crip, which is what I end up doing. But the first thing that I did as a Baby Gangster Posse, the little gang, is we went and specifically looked for people who were pretending to be Crips. I remember we were looking for some people called themselves North Dallas Crips. We said, ain't no such thing as North Dallas Crips, bro. If you ain't no Rolling 30 Schoolyard Crip, Five Deuce Hoover, you don't have a real set from California, you better not be caught talking about you a real Crip. That was very dangerous.
Man, hey, thank you, Mayhem. That definitely was a good explanation. So did you get everything out of that you were trying to get out?
I wanted to hear what Brother Melvin had to say lastly.
About the character?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, Charleston White went to Nipsey Hussle funeral through me. Mm-hmm. In fact, he got when Nipsey, he was over there when me, Barefoot, Pookie, and Babalu were talking right after Nipsey had got slain. So he got to go there. We went through the VIP. He got to be around Snoop, Gang, Farrakhan, Raymond Washington's daughter, because we broke up. So I was up front, up there with Sam, and when the daughters and the family came out, we was right there at the front. I'm standing next to Gang. And Charleston had went with Ray Shauna Washington, and they little side of the crew, Pete Winbush and them, I think. And he got to experience all that. He got him where, in fact, they took a liking to him, left him over there. Everybody embraced Charleston White. So, but more importantly, when it came to Nipsey Hussle or anybody that he talked to, nobody he basically know personally, whether it's Aramis or Nipsey Hussle. He nailed down one of them. I know either or. Yeah. So when it come to a lot of guys, whether it's celebrity, friend, family, or foe, I usually have a personal relationship where I know maybe their grandmama, their uncle, their sister or brother. So I know quite a few people that are related to Nipsey Hussle or had love for him. And when you're in these streets, these people know Nipsey Hussle. Yeah. Not everyone, because to them, they weren't in the same person, but they know him from an intimate perspective. So at the end of the day, not just him, it's a lot of guys that are icons that you got Slim 400. A lot of things backdoor. I'm privileged. I can talk to Whack 100 when I get ready to. I can talk to Charleston White when I get ready to. I can talk to Reggie Wright. I told him Marvin, pretty much anybody, Kevin Gates, any of them on the internet. So I'm behind the scene a lot. But it goes back to, at the end of the day, you know, when we're really trying to give back to the community, I'm not going to hate on Charleston White. I'm going to leave that because I don't have, I know him personally. So I know he's done things for me and we've done it. So I'm not going to sit. We all have a past. That's what everybody that's on social media. Sometimes it's just best to let things go and move forward because at the end of the day, our one common goal is unity in the community. And at the end of the day, we might take different roads in paths, but we end up on the one common ground. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we all marching towards
Yes,
the
sir.
same thing, and we just have to give these youth something to march to. All of us
That
do.
part.
No,
We
no,
have
no.
to give them
That's the
something to
most
march.
important
There we
part,
go.
and I can say that about when I seen the things that Charleston has done, not just here, just recently with what everybody talking about, but being like with the kids and basically putting shoes on the kids, feeding the kids food. That's what we looked at those things too. So yeah, but everybody do have a past. Y'all,
Yeah.
you guys are absolutely right. But people have to be held accountable for the way they carry themselves when they're dealing with a certain group of
And
people.
when you
So
have
I
people
understand
watching you, you
I
got
get
a
it.
mass
This social
crowd.
media
Yeah.
is something different, you know. To say things just for
Sound
views
bites
or
and
whatever.
likes. Sound bites and likes.
Exactly.
It ain't hard to explain, man.
It changes.
The
you.
message get distorted when you mix a lot of, you know what I'm saying, real, because he's absolutely intelligent. You feel me?
For sure.
But the some of the immature things he might say for the clicks and the likes take away his message. When somebody is really watching you, they see the bull crap and they waiting for you to come with the message. So you know what I'm saying, you got different audiences watching it. So I just mixing that crowd up, man. It's just not it's not proper style to do that often as he does. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you know, I definitely understand, and my thing is, from my perspective, you meet people where they're at. Okay, everybody in here, you trying to help everybody, right? It ain't something to where you just counsel, you know, because we quick to counsel culture, whoever. But there's change and evolution in everybody if they'll accept it.
For sure.
You know, so I don't leave a person in one spot. That's one thing I don't do. And even if I see you hurting, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to help you. You know, try to figure out a way for you to see the goodness in me so that you can change. Because people can change by looking at what you do.
Exactly.
And they become better people. So that's the way I approach a lot of situations. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I definitely understand that people are definitely on these platforms, on these blogs, on these different Instagram, Facebook, TikToks, Twitters, tags, trying to get views. These niggas is really like a lady of the night. You know what I'm saying?
With a
Like
tight dress
everything,
on.
if I could just turn it on and everybody will applaud me, then I can be pretty much seen and known and everybody can see my value. But there's something about respect, as you guys did say, that holds way more weight really in real life. In real life, if I see you in real life and me and you around each other, you gonna have the respect for me because you're not gonna do that with me in front of you. As men. As people that's been in prison where you ain't have no gun, or as people in this room right now, when you deal with different people, it's a certain way a person act when they're in the room with you versus not being. I just say it like that.
Yeah.
Most definitely call them cell warriors. You know what a cell warrior is?
No, explain.
It's a man in another cell that can't get to you.
Okay.
Lock him down. You bitches, hoes, motherfucker, fuck your mama, your daddy, bitch, suck my dick, your sister dick, your brother, you everything. Fuck you, nigga. And he this small.
In other words, you're saying shit where you can't get to you. See, when you can sit and sit isolated and talk on your own, you're gonna always be correct. That's why we do fact checks.
Can you tell me what happened when the doors roll?
Let the gates be the bell.
You goddamn right. Talk to me.
That's
I know. I
Let the
live.
gates
Let
be the bell.
bell when that cell
Ding, ding.
opens. Come on, 2 men enter, 1 man leave. That's how that shit go. That's the Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Cell warriors.
So a lot of times, but back at the end of the day,
Let's go.
I ain't really focusing on no Charleston White. I'm
That's right.
focusing on
Let's go.
creating a platform. I have a program where we're gonna be educating effective black parenting training with these 4 Christian ladies. Where, in fact, I got a Zoom meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. So we're gonna start that, a 60-day pilot. We have a documentary coming out. Senseless gun violence, world epidemic with Ice-T, Trey D narrating, Freeway Rick, got Credible Messenger. So it's a lot of things going on to where I just like to start getting in a little bit about what we also are trying to do as far as what Texas does to help the community. These are credible messengers,
that was
as
the
opposed to just yapping at the mouth about something that's irrelevant.
Correct. And that was the whole game for Boss Talk. It really is. We want to bring people together in all walks of life. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out ways to bridge gaps, man. Trying to figure out ways to build bridges instead of walls between different individuals, especially for all us, man, people that look like each other. You know, it's very uncommon for people to come together in any sort of fashion unless they're up to something that ain't worth nothing to even talk about. So at the end of the day, to have you brothers to come on Boss Talk 101 just to sit down and have a round table, that's hey man, that's epic for me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys for coming. I'm gonna let Mayhem come because we're gonna talk a little bit about the books. I know Melvin wrote all kind of books about it. So let's get into it, man. So what when you, because you basically Mayhem been around me for a while now. So you know, and I appreciate you for coming on the panel today. Just a little bit about like when you think about California, being that you was born in California. And then being in Texas, but still having California ties. What do you think about when you look at the way that the two cities, kind of springboard off each other, actually?
I mean, Dallas, I personally feel Dallas, Texas is L.A. You know, we have always loved California. I mean, so at Fort Worth, we have been California since the 80s, since Ron C came out here. Ron C came out he was from Oakland, then he moved from LA, then he moved to Dallas. He came out trendsetters. And then like I say, gangbanging hit Dallas in the late 80s. And Fort Worth was gangbanging harder than Dallas. You know, and like I say, it was just, we had a lot of love and admiration for California, for just the Snoop Dogs, and just, I guess Dallas had like a little pimp. We was like pimping and gangsters back in those days. So when Snoop Dogg came, and then I guess we had that, like I say, Ron C was a big factor back in as I'm looking at it now, 89, 90, Ron C put it down.
Yeah, I had Nino Cappuccino on, no, not Nino Cappuccino, I had him on there, but I had Bobo. I had Bobo on here, and he talked about Ron C and Snake. That's what it was. He talked about those two guys.
I remember being in Fresno, California, and hearing Munchies for Your Bass. I remember walking in Fresno, California, hearing Dallas music, Munchies for Your Bass, which is DJ Sneak, in Fresno in 86, 87. So Dallas music, and it's crazy that I would end up in Dallas listening to California music because I'm from California, but I grew up in Albuquerque, Colorado, Dallas, Louisiana, and Memphis. So I grew up, but I've always had a connection to California. My oldest siblings grew up in California. All my family gangbanged. All my family was Crips. That's why when I went to prison, I was really Crip. I really grew up a Crip, but when I went to prison, I wrote my oldest brother. I got 17 calendar years in prison. My oldest brother got 20 for murder. Yeah, Crip. I wrote him. I was all excited to write him. Yeah, bro. Yeah, cuz. And I was writing my brother. My brother wrote me back from California prison, and he said, "Nigga, if you don't stop gang banging, if you ever write me this, nigga," he told me he did. Y'all ain't no real Crips. Y'all and my brother. He already had about 17 did. I'm just an intern in prison, but he told me then, don't gang bang. Y'all Crippin' ain't Crippin'. Wow. Y'all disrespecting us up here. We do not respect what you're doing down there. If you come down to Texas and you tell us you're a Crip, they're gonna kill you. Now, stop saying that.
It depends on who you is, how you carry yourself.
It don't matter who you are. If you don't
I don't believe it.
No, listen. I don't believe it. No, it's not. It's not whether you believe it or not. This is what
your brother knew who you was.
No, this is my brother. This is my brother. He know. He love me.
I just said that. He know who you was.
He's telling me.
And some people know that. Hey, nigga, you ain't been put on no work. We're saying.
No.
Nigga, you ain't no Crip, nigga. They gonna tell you that.
No. See, my thing is that when we say
you can look at a Crip and tell a Crip.
Nah, when I'm talking about Crip, we talking about being initiated. Okay. We talking about real Crip. We ain't talking about no, I'm from the neighborhood. Nah, we don't know what kind of Crip that is. We talking about real Cripping in Dallas. See, when you got Crip niggas in Dallas, you got niggas who really was initiated. When I tell you I was Cripping in Dallas, you had to go through some real stuff. You just couldn't,
I think I'm gonna be a Crip today. No, nigga, that was a problem. You couldn't walk outside and say you was a Crip and not be a real Crip.
How could your brother break down what your brother was saying and how you feel about it? And you didn't stop cripping then either.
I immediately stopped cripping because I was in the county going to TDC.
Okay.
So he told me at a pinnacle point. I was 18 years old. I wasn't no average Crip dude. I wasn't no regular Crip. I was a big Crip. I was sold drugs, so I wasn't no regular dude. I ran people in the street. I was embraced by Crippin'. I wasn't when I had to gangbang. No, I didn't have to gangbang. I love gangbang. You feel me? It wasn't a damn, I guess I got to do this. I couldn't wait to get up and go outside and hang out with my brothers. Man, this was my life. So when he told me about, listen, bro, this Crippin' has did to you what it did to me. I got murdered. You 18 years old. You got aggravated robbery and attempted murder. Crippin' is for us in California.
That ain't got nothing to do with no Crippin'.
No, but listen, see,
I'm trying to understand.
I don't know what your Crippin' was about.
It wasn't about no killing and robbing.
Well, Crippin' is not about killing and robbing. Crippin' is about standing on principles. And sometimes when you stand on principles, you got to hurt people.
What's a big Crip?
What you mean a big Crip?
You said you was a big Crip.
A big Crip is
What's your set?
A schoolyard 30.
I heard that.
What you talking about? What are you questioning? Are you?
I got to.
Are you questioning me?
Because I don't hear Crippin'. I'm community resolution in progress.
No. I'm no longer Crip. I've not gangbanged since I was 18 years old.
I say I'm community revolution in progress.
We grown men.
Did you hear what I said?
We grown men. I'm
community revolution in progress.
I'm grown. So I stopped gangbanging 18. I'm 44.
Yeah. I get it. I
don't gangbang no more.
I see where this guy
community.
At.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? Say it. I didn't say nothing about no mayhem. I say what community.
Community, revelation.
See there? That's not a Crip. That's not no Crip right there, homie. That nigga not no Crip, homie. That nigga not no Crip, homie.
Hold up,
that nigga not no Crip.
He not when he was 18.
I'm not a Crip.
He ain't never been one.
Okay, well, fine. I mean, it's not a debatable issue.
It's sure not, but he did a lot of talking about cripping. Don't do that. That's what's happening now. It's a lot of people saying they this, they that, and they see. I get around a big nigga like him, and a little young nigga believe him. You heard what I just said?
Okay. I'm not trying to get nobody to be no Crip.
I hope you're not. That's good. I'm glad you're not. That's the point. But you just talk.
I grew up cripping.
But you talk. You said that.
I grew up cripping when I'm 44. How old are you?
I'm 52, homie.
Oh, I'm 44.
I'm 52.
So hold on.
I don't care about you being a Crip or what you was.
Hold up.
It's not debatable.
Hold on. We ain't got too much time.
It
don't matter.
I'm trying to make my dollar.
Everybody want to be king. Shit.
No, I don't. I don't want to turn you down, homie. But I want to get back to what Melvin was talking about.
I want to get back to show you
why.
To
the progress.
This is what happens
to the progress
when you're having a dialogue.
Let's go, Daddy.
That's why I was gonna wait till you through, but it's good you asked the age different. So your era of cripping, you're 8 years older than him. So when you come into the game at that, yours might not be the same as his.
You right.
So both of y'all can be right.
And you from Fort Worth, I'm from Dallas.
So at the end of the day, right. But at the end of the day,
two different worlds.
It's two different worlds, but once again.
And I know everybody that you know. I guarantee you know about 20 people that can tell you they love me. That you know.
I love you, but I don't know you. But you don't know nothing. You wouldn't know half the people.
Now we talk about. Let's keep it going, man.
Let's go. There we go. All right, let's go. So on to the next one.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you look at the way neighborhood, this is a perfect example of what I see when I look at different people who in different neighborhoods, who doing different things, who on different age brackets, who on different levels. This is just something that happens, bro. A conversation between men that's on different walks of life. And that's why I say I meet people where they at, really, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, I am a man that been through a lot of stuff. But I know already that what I've been through can calm the room down and say, hey, man, I did this and I did that. But at the end of the day, we all are always moving, bro. Evolution is something. You're not the same dude that you was when you was a young man. When you was young and you was doing all the street running, you ain't the same dude that was on Mayhem over there by Spring Valley doing all the stuff that you was doing. We are at an age now where we got young kids that's looking at us for an example of which way to go through these microphones.
But listen,
through these microphones.
But what he's saying is, again, I like what he's saying. We need people who are qualified. I put in work behind Crip, so I'm qualified. But he's like, I need to know, because we got too many people who talking about this who ain't did nothing. But
now, he right. I agree with
you. So that's why he like, man, I need to know, because I'm the same way. But I already know his backstory, so I ain't got to question him. I watch him. I don't know you, but I guarantee you, as where I come from, I ain't trying to be no YouTube shot. I'm not a shot. I don't do this. But I guarantee you, the more you know about me, you're gonna be, man, this is really what it is. So hold up, let me say this here too. What he just did right now is what I talked about. We willfully, cripping is not something that's forced. It's going to be something we want to do. We love this. This is not a game to us. This isn't something that you pretend to do. Cripping is an environment, right? And so when I tell people I grew up in a crip environment, it means everybody who grew up with me, when I started cripping, I was 12 and 13, which is the normal age of somebody who's supposed to be gang banging. You shouldn't be gang banging when you're 25, 26. It should start when you're young. But the people, when I came outside, they were already gang banging. They were telling me off the muscle, they told me, you can't even be a crip. You got to get tough first. You got to learn what's up. So I couldn't just run off and join no crip. Nah, I knew I had to respect him first. I had to watch him. I had to learn. And then as I got older, then I was able to walk the line and really get initiated to this real, because when I was growing up, this cripping was real cripping. But as I grew up, I grew out of that. And then as I got around other Crips, they told me, look, bro, you got to get yourself right, because now look where you at. You are, and me going to prison really had nothing to do with cripping. But what I did know is that no matter where I was at, once you're introduced to that shit, it's like hard to let it go. It's hard to let cripping go. It's hard, and then, like I said, it was hard for me
but let me say this: a lot of times it's hard because of the lives that's lost during the process of being a crip too.
No, a lot of times this is the main reason why it's hard to let it go, because you're still stuck in that environment.
You're still stuck in an environment.
That definitely it. But lives being lost definitely holds a toll on you.
Well, you know, when you really joined up and signed up for this shit, lives being lost to you means something. But when you sign up for this shit here, that's the only way you really come in this game, pulling that trigger, or getting in some trouble that you couldn't go back and come into this game dressing up with braided hair and saggy pants and quit walking and doing shit and just claiming, and you got more graduation pictures than arrest records. See, this shit is backwards.
And I hate to say that,
but no, let me finish, because I want to talk to OG Percy.
It's true.
We all got homeboys that got murder cases. All of my homeboys got 25. All of us, but not one or two of them. Everybody.
When you around them.
When I look at OG Percy, and like I said, I looked at that documentary and all the people that's in those boxes that you were talking about, different people who died for different causes and things that pretty much caused you to be there making these speeches, man. Does that have an effect on you in the way you live your life? I'll put it like that.
The only thing that has effect on me the way I live my life, shout out to Tookie, man.
Okay.
That's the effect on how I live my life in cripping. When I found out what it was really about. The black redemption part. The blue rage, you can have that. I went through that. I done been through the blue rage. When I found out I am part of that book, as far as my life story goes, and to get to the end of the book and find out it is a pot of gold at the rainbow, all you gotta do is try to keep watching, keep going for it. Tookie taught me that. He taught me just through that book, Bob. I call it the Crip Bob. You can call it what you want to, but when I read it for the first time in prison, I read it. And that Bible, that book, I couldn't read. I'm not a reader. I told you I'm not good on reading. But when I got in there, Tookie, but it was just something I better learn. I'm gonna learn this book. I learned about Buddha. I learned about all. I read that book. Hell, I couldn't even read, but I'm gonna read this one. The first book I ever read to the end.
Wow.
The first book I ever read all the way to the end.
Hold on. But
I learned. The thing was, I learned what it meant. I got Crip wrote all over me. My back, my head, my behind my face. It's all over me. I can't get it off.
Yeah.
But the thing I learned was what it meant. When you get the meaning, the black rage part, when you get there, I wouldn't spend a minute talking about trying to convince you what I know about cripping. I cut for you. You're a good man. But wasting 10 minutes we're talking about you can't convince me or nobody else. You might convince somebody else. I believe what you said it the first time. Cause real nigga gonna say it once, not twice. You hear me? But anyway, you're a good man. It took him wanted to end in a good way. He didn't get the message out. People didn't get the memo. They wouldn't let the youngsters get the memo. They wouldn't let the black man get the memo. They wouldn't let them pass it out to the youngsters.
Well,
They killed him.
Melvin being a friend of Tookie,
Right.
and being that you guys started, off young together, or you was a little older than you, but you started off understanding and walking and dealing with him. To be done seen this guy who's affected way in Texas, and like I said, this didn't just start. It ain't just a Texas thing either. It's each state. You can go to Louisiana and find it. You can go to Mississippi and find it. You can go to New Orleans and find it. Did you ever think that it would be that effective, far as pretty much pulling people into that situation? When you guys started, when this thing first started off,
we went through this earlier, and I'm gonna give the same answer.
I want to hear it because I done heard all of these guys.
No, we didn't think nothing about this. We didn't. We hadn't even had sex with our socks off at that time, let alone to be thinking about something like this going on. It was three things going on. Late 70s, late 60s, early 70s, Soul Train, gang banging, and pop locking.
Let's go.
And all those three things are staples there across America from back then. But it's not nothing really to be proud of about this life. That's real talk, because at the end of the day, you're guilt by association. You think the camaraderie when you're growing up, going back and forth to jail, when you don't think your ass will wear out before that fence wheel that hold you and silence your voice. But then as you get older, you see the look in your mother's eyes. You see your family members to where you don't see the wrinkles, and you think about all the time you could have been with your mother instead of running around niggas. And you can't paint a picture with a canvas with one stroke. So I've been privileged and blessed to see 5 generations, because every 10 years shit changes in this game. So I know where Texas at in its 30-year, 40-year history. I know where New Jersey, I can know about from previous experience when it comes to that. So at the end of the day, man, I don't put no titles on nothing. As far as people, I try to be an unbiased urban analyst when I look at any situation, and always try to be fair. But I know this is a time now where we want to make these youths taxpayers as opposed to tax burdens. And this Crip and Blood, we're not a gang, we're a brand now. And we have to start letting the entertainment world, Nike that make the hats the color of whatever set you from.
You hear me?
When you're like the Texas Rangers hats. That's one of the biggest hats selling in all America because it represents the gangster Crips. So you're talking about global. And so we have to look at how they exploiting us to where we need to address them, like when Jesse Jackson used to go back door for Coca-Cola and discrimination. And we need to have people such as us, or people that are rooted in this community, that have a vested interest in the community, where we speak up to help eradicate some of these adverse conditions that exist. And all that come with us with being unity in the community. If we can't get that, we segregating ourselves. We've had Martin Luther King die, get sprayed. We don't went from water hose to choke holes, but nothing's changed. But we can have to, us as a people, have to stand up and do every other race get along together. We try because we isolate ourselves to where it's the crab over the bucket. Everybody trying to overstep when it's no big U's and no I's and this shit. It ain't hard to do.
Thank you. So Mayhem, when you say you was not you at 18 you put the cripping down. How did you do time separating yourself from the different groups of people that
One day at a time.
No, I need to hear that.
No, when I got into prison had a lot of niggas who was claiming to be Crips. Like he was saying, I ain't locked seat with nobody. I don't know who you is. Who is you? Like you said, who is you? I don't know you. Yeah, you a Crip, but you ain't did no work like me. I don't know you like that. You ain't did no drive-bys. You ain't robbed nobody. You ain't did nothing to me. So don't try to come up here and lock seats with me talking about your set. I was locked up with people from Cleburne and Killeen, Texas, and
Johnson County.
They was all type of Black Panther gangster Crip. One dude told me you a Black Panther gangster Crip. I mean, I was just so. The more I got in prison and got around, because everybody in prison is not real. Everybody, and I went to prison back in the 90s. See, this is like he was telling me, it's a new prison now. I went to prison, and prison taught me one thing. See, and another thing that I want to talk about too. I didn't gangbang in prison. I never had to gangbang.
That's what I was asking about.
I was a man before anything else, and I was in numerous race riots, and I'm glad that I was in race riots, like he was talking about. Because one thing about I came from back in the 90s when prison was violent. When I walked into TDC, they said, you gonna fuck, fight, or bust a 60. The law told you that, not no inmate. The officer told you that. Then they said, get into the day room. I was 18. I was a powder pink nigga walking in there. Well, they just cut my hair off. I looked friendly than the mud. And, I told you people got a line, and I had to introduce myself immediately and let them know this is who I am. And that's why people are like, okay, well, that's why I didn't have to crip. When you go in there fighting, everybody embraces you. Everybody embraces it. You go in there punching nigga in the face for disrespecting you, nigga like, I like that nigga. And I'm from the city. Everybody knew me. I came in with a reputation. I came in, everywhere I went, I already knew people on every unit I went on. I knew somebody from the street. And they were like, nigga, you ain't cripping? I was like, I ain't cripping. They were like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Nobody questioned it. I mean, people kind of liked it. Like he would if I went around here in person, I said, hey, Percy, what's up? And you like, man, I gangbang with, and I told Percy, I said, yeah, Brian, I'm doing my time. I ain't gangbanging. He gonna say, I understand.
You a lie.
No, I'm just saying.
No, the unit I'm on. The unit I'm on.
Listen,
you was on Ferguson. You was on Cofield.
I was on Cofield, so I don't know.
You was on Cofield?
I was on Cofield.
Well, I was on Rascal unit.
Terraford unit.
I was on Ferguson.
Listen, I was on the Smith unit. He talking about the biggest riot in state jail. Right? I was on the biggest riot in TDC. Period. On Smith unit on April 2000 with the essays, right? But one thing I loved about being in this, I hated being in there, but the wisdom and knowledge in this. In that ride, I seen niggas who we did not get along with come together.
Yeah.
You feel me? I seen Black people who were Crips, Bloods, and everything. They came together immediately for the sake of all of us. And like I say, this is in prison. You hear me? So when I seen that, it let me know that despite what people say, when Black people are in compromising positions, they do come together. And they come together, and a lot of times they only come together in that situation when something goes bad. When something goes bad in prison between, like you say, when somebody violates the races, don't matter who you don't like. As Black people, we unite quick.
Let me ask you this, guys, because I got to ask this question before we end this. How do we help affect keeping our people, our young Black men, because the majority of our people are in prison. Like when you go and look, the Black people overpopulate the prison. So how do we try to help to stop them from going to prison? I'll let you go first, Melvin.
Well, actually, you got to look at the laws which are in prison. And you have to also understand it depends on the demographics and where you're at. Like for California, I'll speak on California. We have to get these youths because there's a lot of illegal immigrants over there. We right on the border. A lot of jobs are being taken up where they're being paid up under the table, and they want you to be bilingual. The school system is 3 areas that has to be addressed. When it comes to inner cities, whether it's where Obama calls it pockets of poverty, that's what he called inner cities across America. Or Trump might call it rat infested, like he said. But either way it go, they was talking about communities such as where we at now. Mm-hmm. So it's 3 areas I think that need to be addressed: the unified school district. That's where congregation of youth all the way up. parks and recreation where niggas gather and hold their charades, and then we got the juvenile justice system.
Okay.
Those 3 areas has to be addressed, but also, more importantly, you have to go to your elected officials and those that are in power that getting the funding to make sure that funding is going to the proper resources to get what it's directed to. A lot of times we have these organizations, particularly when you got city council members, board of supervisors, state elected officials, they're controlling the funding that comes from the federal government. So we have to know how this works. But we also, you can't go and get somebody to turn their guns in for no concert ticket either. But they'll turn them in for a gun or where they can feed themselves. They have more susceptible. If you can feed them, they're willing to listen more. So those are 3 areas of I think need to be tackled at all levels, from preschool up to the highest level. And we have to start looking at these laws that are being voted on because we don't vote, and power in voting. So it's a lot of things, but those are the 3 areas that I would address from an inner city standpoint.
Thank you.
To make a change.
Thank you. OG Percy.
I got one.
I want to ask you that same question. I want to ask you in a way to where the area that you affect, the people that you're around, because he's coming from a California standpoint. You here in Texas, and what he said really it evolves around government. Period. But what would you do to help influence the youth and our people from going into those situations?
It's one thing I'm after. One thing I'm after when it comes down to the youth right now is the minds. If I could change their lives, the only way to change your life, you got to change your mind. That's the only way. If we can get them to start thinking a different way, send their mind somewhere else besides this right here, this gonna kill them. The biggest drug on the world that you don't even gotta take. Everybody on it right now.
That's right.
Everybody on this drug right here. This drug right here is killing everybody. This drug can get you killed. This drug can get you money. This drug will mess you off. And this drug right here, they give it to the kids too. The kids got the same drug right here. They walk around with it every day in their pocket. You dig what I'm saying? This right here is the mind changer. This whatever you look at is what's on your mind. The only way to get the youth back is to change their minds. The only way to change your life, you have to change your mind. This is a bad drug. You need rehabilitation. Get them back down to digging gardens. Get them back to their handwork.
Everything started off telephone and tell a Negro. That's the quickest way, man.
Okay, I'm gonna come to you, Mayhem. What do you? How can we help to our youth, our people from going into those conditions?
Man, I feel again. One thing that I see that we need to do, I want to be able to support and pay people like OG Percy, Melvin, Supreme. I want to pay these guys, overcompensate them, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Use these guys as youth mentors to go back into the hood. These guys are the perfect examples of who needs to go back. Ain't nobody better than one of us to go back in there. We don't want nobody going back front and talking to these kids about something they don't know. Now, we don't have to necessarily do everything, but we want to be a facilitator. I want to get these guys and pay them and show the world. My job is to show the world why these guys are priceless, right? We come out of prison. And I tell people that all the time, man, and one thing that I have a burning desire, one thing I ain't got to explain, I know these guys, we know what we need to do, and we know why we need to do it. I ain't got to explain to these guys why they need to tell these kids why to stay out of prison. See, because if I can't talk to him, he can. If he can't talk to him, he can. But we don't have nobody who really will support these guys because they're going to look at him and they're going to judge him by his past and they're going to question his ability. They're going to question his character. But instead, it says you need to back him. You need to support him financially. You need to enable these people because the kids really, behind closed doors, this is who they look up to. This is who they listen to. And I tell people all the time, what really makes you an OG? When you have somebody following you and you already know people follow me. I don't pay nobody to call me no OG. I don't ask nobody to call me no OG. No, none of that. They do that out of honor and but they do that because they watch me and they see that. And what I try to do is try to limit my talk and show them by action. But 50% of what I do is talk good. The other 50% of what I do is back up what I say, or at least do everything I can to do that. You feel me? So what I'm trying to do is to show everybody that I know that just because I've been in prison for 17 years doesn't mean that I can't maintain my composure. It doesn't mean that I'm not qualified to get people and teach kids. Saul, who wrote the book of Acts in the Bible, was a murderer. Saul, who wrote the book of Acts, is the foundation of Christianity. If you want to learn how to be a Christian, you cannot read the whole Bible. You just need to read one book in the Bible. It's called the book of Acts. The book of Acts was wrote by a guy named Saul. Saul was a murderer. Saul was a murderer who wrote the Bible of what the foundation of how it is to be a Christian. So when I ask people, why do I want OG Percy and Melvin and all these guys to come out here and teach people how to become better people, I ask Christians, who told you how to be a Christian? It's Saul.
I got it. So that and that's good. You talk about getting these guys, taking them back to the inner city. You talk about changing their mind, which goes with that. And then you talked about the over picture where we talking about to governors, we talking to politicians, people who deal with the laws and then some.
Not only just the laws, but that's where the breeding grounds for gang activity starts.
I get it.
Juvenile hall where you're going to jail.
That's right.
The schools when you're going to sell your oats, and the parks where you go to negotiate and hang out. So those are the three main areas in the inner city where the gang
congregate.
Introduction. No, not the youths congregate.
Yeah.
You got every level, but you got to remember, this is in LA, you talking about in Death Alley where I grew up at, you talking about a 1.8 mile area, which is the equivalent of Death Row or the Bronx Bombers. You got the Rolling 60s, you got 8-Tray Gangsters, you got the 9-0s, you got the 100s, you got the 30s, you got the Van Ness boys, you got the 20s, you got the 40s, you got the 30s. That's a rough lineup over there.
Yeah, very rough lineup. So when it come down to the entertainment, and I'm gonna ask you this: entertainment influences. With the entertainment influencing things the way that they do, how do you? And I know you guys, I know for a fact Melvin deal with a lot of entertainers. I can't say that, but I know you deal with some of the hip hoppers too. I done seen you on a few videos. You video guys. How do we influence those guys to help to change the narrative of? Because a lot of that influences our culture.
Oh, you're not gonna get no help on that. No, that's out the question. If you do, you don't get no play. How about that?
I get it.
If you got anything education to help,
they not gonna listen.
Oh, come on, you don't hear what's on the radio? Money, bitches, cars, clothes. Ain't no help. Ain't no help in that. You better not say nothing to help him get a job. You better not say nothing to educate him. Throw that shit out the window. You know how they fly your CD? They'll fly Tupac today. They'll fly Tupac ass across the window and put in the stunner.
The conscious rap, you're right. The conscious rap have kind of fell back.
What you mean have? Okay, took out. Ain't no Arrested Development.
Have anybody heard? Anybody in here know any conscious rap that's popping right now? Like the
like Common or
Chance and Common there.
Kendrick Lamar, the closest you want to get to.
He don't even got a hit on the radio right now. He don't get no play.
Wow.
He don't get no play.
I just thought about that.
They out there. But you don't get no play.
Who you listen to?
Yo Millionaire, Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is that?
It's a new guy. It's a new guy to South Memphis. He a Memphis. I listen to Memphis music.
Okay. And I just asked, because that's a lot of influence too, whether we want to, adhere to it or not. Entertainment is business. It feeds through these microphones and it feeds through these earphones just as well as people talking. And them phones is pretty much you was talking about.
Drug.
That's pretty much where they tap into a lot of different things. You guys, man, like I said, you guys did a great job, man. I always enjoy sitting down at the round table with some men of you guys' stature. You know what I'm saying? August panel, as I'm calling it. But, man, Boss Talk 101 is a thing, man, and I appreciate you guys for coming on here. So, Melvin, when you coming back to Texas, man, you ain't gonna just leave us and don't never come back, is it?
No, I'll probably be back down in about a month or something and we get back to get
that'll be good, man.
And continue the dialogue. And
he ain't gonna come back?
That's bull, man.
What?
Man, can I go to California? Shit.
You don't take OG Percy.
When he coming back, I'm trying to go right here.
You can't leave now, bro. We don't need you up out there. We need you here.
I just want to do this.
What?
Jump back in there.
Come on through.
Yeah, you talking about
Man, so Mayhem, man, we didn't talk about the book, but man, Mayhem got this book where I always shout it out. So what made you come up with this book one more time so people will know? Just give us a small spiel on it before we get out of here.
Again, like you say, man, I'm an ex-convict, man, and I'm not trying to be no author. I just try to keep young people out of prison. And I accidentally know a lot of information, so I write books on black histories. This is about 27 black massacres that happened in America besides Tulsa, Oklahoma. We mostly only know about one. This is 27 black massacres that really happened in this country. It's documented. You can research it yourself. You feel me? But this is just one book in 4. You know what I'm saying? I write about all black history. But anyway, you can check it out. It's available on Amazon or my website, which is mayhemthementor.com.
Thank you so much, man. Hey guys, man, appreciate you guys, man.
Okay.
Check it, man.
Okay.
My boy, Supreme, Money Moses, everybody that came today, man. To see that people can come together on a panel, and we can come together and we can talk sensibly and come back, and and like I said, I want to kind of do this. I want to do stuff like this to where we can show people that we do connect, and I think it helps. What do you think?
It does help.
Yeah, you got to start off with a conversation, right?
They say a conversation run a nation, but an understanding beat everything.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys, man, so much for coming on the show.
Okay.
It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.